Alright, what's going on, guys? So we're doing a bit of a different video today. I'm going to be showcasing my own project, something I don't usually do too often. I do apologize for the lack of videos lately. I've just been working on my own stuff. So what I want to do in this video is showcase Advanced Traversal System and Combat Fury and show you how I've combined it together and made it work smoothly. Hopefully this will help somebody else out there that's also doing the same thing with their own project. If you guys do like this video, let me know. Hit that like button, please. It helps out a lot. And also, if you do like it then and you want me to recreate this project from scratch so you guys can see all of the ins and outs of how to put this project together, then let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to do so. But yeah, so let's get started. So you might notice straight away that we have our weapons in our hands at all times. That's something that I like. Games like Black Myth Wukong do the same thing. But the only time that you don't have a weapon in your hand in that game is when he's like interacting with the shrine or like there's a cinematic playing. You might also notice that we have guns. So in this project, we don't actually have blocking. And I know some of you might be thinking, wait, what? Bear with me, all right? So technically, we do still have blocking. I've just disabled it. Instead of blocking though, we do have our guns. So we can pull out our guns when we're aiming and we'll have this crosshair and also have this aim offset, which will smoothly transition from not aiming. As you can see here, there's no snapping how I had it previously. And we can shoot. There's some sound effects. The crosshair isn't perfect. As you can see, the bullets don't actually go on the crosshair. That's just something I need to fix, work on. But yeah, I'll get to it when I can get to it. I've done this, by the way, because of games like Deadpool. If you've ever played the Deadpool game, when he's attacking, he will do these animations. He would like use his swords. And when he's aiming, he'll pull out his guns. So there's no blocking in that game. I don't believe there's blocking in that game. But yeah, so another thing I've also done is with stamina. So with stamina, when we're running forward, we'll lose stamina. When we're running backwards or left or right, we won't lose stamina, but it does freeze. So that's not ideal. That's not actually intended. That's just something that I need to work on and fix at the moment. The default way of how stamina works in Combat Fury is if you're running backwards or like moving backwards and you hold down the sprint button, you actually lose stamina. Same thing with like left or right, which doesn't make any sense to me because you're not sprinting right, you're just jogging backwards. So you shouldn't be losing any stamina. I've also disabled stamina for when we're like falling. So if we are falling, then we're not losing stamina. I've also made it so if we are wall running, then we will lose stamina. As you can see here, we will lose a little bit of stamina. I might increase that stamina depletion later on. The same thing here with the swimming. So if we are swimming fast, then we will lose stamina. And once we get to 0, we'll just stop swimming fast, basically. As you can see, you might also notice that we are wet now because we went into the pool. So we was dry, now we're wet. After some time, we won't be wet anymore. We'll be dry again. Okay, so another thing I've also done is with the weapons, you can see here that our weapons are always going to be on our back if we are doing some sort of like advanced traversal action. So with the swimming, weapons go onto our back. Same thing with everything else, basically. So if we're climbing, if we're pushing one of those crates over there, the ladders, anything, literally, our weapons will always go onto our back. And you might have got the same setup for yourself, but for you, you might notice that when we're jumping, your character's weapons will always go onto their hands every time you let go of the wall. So the way I've set that up is on the land event over here. So on land event, we're checking to see if we are doing traversal action. So if we're not, then we're checking to see if we are aiming. If we're not aiming, then we want our guns, which is my weapon index 2. Weapon index 0 is the swords and 1 is unarmed. So if we are aiming, then we want our guns. We want to show the crosshair and we don't want to be jogging or running. We want to be walking. That's just something that I like to do for myself, as you might notice here. So when we're aiming, we'll be walking. When we're not aiming, we'll be jogging again. So that's just something that I like. And then if we're not aiming, then we want our swords. And then we're doing another check here to see if we do have our guns, but we're not aiming. So if that's the case, then we just want our guns, but we don't want the crosshair. So that's how I've set that up. So every time that we're landing, you might notice here, every time we're landing, well, you won't be able to notice, but if we have our guns and we're aiming, then we'll be aiming. If we just have our guns, then we will just have our guns. If we have our swords, then we'll just have our swords. And then for everything else, So for the ledge climb and stuff like that, we're doing the exact same checks that we were doing for the landing. But for things like, let me see, things like the rope climb, for example, for the rope climb, we don't do anything on false for if ATS is active or not. We're just putting the weapons on our back and hiding the crosshair. But for the wall run, we're also depleting stamina. And if this is off, if ATS is not active, then we're not depleting stamina. One more thing that I've also done here is with our dodging. Our dodging is on the same button as our jumping. So if we're jumping forward, we can jump forward normally. But if we're not, then we're going to be dodging left, right, or back. So that's just something I've done. It's super easy to do that too. You're going to see in our jumping here, all we're doing here is we've added a variable for is jumping. And if we're not jumping, then we can jump. But if we are jumping, then we don't want to jump, basically. If we go to our combat fury graph, you're going to see right here in the dodging. Again, we're always checking to see if ATS is active. And we're just adding the is dodging component there. We're also adding the stamina. So we deplete 10% stamina or just 10. I don't know what that is. But yeah, we're depleting 10 and we're also uncrouching too. So this is my sprint system at the moment, and it is not perfect. It needs a lot of work. So if you guys do spot something here that's a mistake or maybe something that can help fix the issue that I'm having, let me know in the comments. But basically with our sprinting, we're just checking to see if we are falling or if we are aiming. So if both of these are not true, then we continue to basically do our stamina. If it is true, then we don't do anything. We don't sprint basically. And then for this right here, we're checking to see if our move forward, if we're moving forward basically. So we're getting the AI move, we're getting the Y value, we're putting that into a greater node. If it's above 0, then we're moving forward. If it's not above 0, then we're not moving forward basically. So if that's true, this should really be connected here, but that doesn't work. I know this doesn't work either. If I just copy the deplete stamina and put it there, it doesn't work. So I've tried that as well and it doesn't work. But if that's not true, then we don't deplete stamina and we are not running basically. We're not sprinting. So that's what's making it. So if I just take this off, I'll show you what that looks like. So this is what Combat Fury default would be. If you're like running backwards and holding down sprint or left or right, you're going to see this, the stamina will deplete. But if we do have this on, then stamina won't deplete. You're going to see there. It won't deplete. If I just run real quick forward, as you see, it does freeze, which is a shame, but at least it doesn't deplete. So that's all that matters at the moment until I fix it. And lastly here, I just want to talk a little bit about story framework and narrative navigation that I've got set up here. So as you can see with narrative navigation, we have this marker on this NPC. And we also, if I press M, we're going to have this widget here that shows the world map, which I kind of do want to set up over here. So if I press tab, you're going to see that we have all of these tabs, I guess. We have all of these tabs over here. I kind of do want to set up the world map into here. I think that would be kind of cool. I need to figure out how to do that though. Anyway, if we talk to this NPC here, he's going to give us a mission. He's going to tell us to go get health. And we can tell him, okay. If we do say okay, he's going to give us a book. And if we go into our task here, you can see that we have this main task called Get Health. And we also have this book in our inventory, which, by the way, we can actually open our inventory and we can close it too. If we look around now, you're going to see that we have this health pack that pops up into the map with a marker as well, its own little marker. We can press interact and it'll interact. And then, yeah, we've completed the mission. So this is super easy to set up and it's not perfect by any means. This is just a simple example for myself just to make sure that the system is working, the task systems are working. To do that, it's really easy, to be honest. We just open up our NPC here. In the event interact with, we can start a conversation. We add the task. We set the visibility for the navigation marker. So with the navigation marker, you just add this marker to whatever actor or anything basically that you want to add a marker to. And then you'll have all of these settings on the side here that you can play around with, add marker to basically. And so, yeah, we're setting the visibility, which we can then change to wherever we want. We can put it on screen space, the map, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. And then we're getting the health pack. We're getting the actor for the health pack. And we're doing the same thing. We're setting the visibility for that. And we're unhiding it. So this is where it kind of like falls apart, this little system that I've got going on right now. Because if we was to actually walk up over here And let's just spam E real quick. You're going to see that we can still get the health back. And then again, if we was to go up to this NPC and talk to him, he will still give us the mission to get the health back. So now we just have a mission that we can't complete. So it's not perfect, and we got these errors too. So it's not perfect by any means, but again, as I said, this is just a simple little mission for myself to just to make sure that tasks are working. And then to set up dialogue is super easy as well. So I just want to talk about that real quick. If we highlight our NPC here and we scroll down, we have this NPC info, and dialogue is now in a data table, which is really, really, really sick. I love this. It's so much better than what it used to be, where dialogue would be on the NPC. Like you would have to write all of the dialogue here in the details panel, which I thought was kind of like a bit annoying. With the dialogue system being in a data table, this is so much better and easier to like control. You can just set up all your dialogue like this, and all of the information should be easy to read. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. One more thing that I've also done, you might notice. Whoops. We have this blood system, which I think is really cool. To add sound effects to weapons, I have this asset from the marketplace. I think it's called weapon system effects, something like that. I can't really remember it, but yeah, it's super easy to do too. You just add that sound effect onto your components. You add it as a component to your character, and you just drag it in and you play one shot sound, and then it's just that simple. It's so cool. I really love it. And then for the weapons, I've just added that swish sound into the animation itself. And then for the attack sound, I think it is over here, hit sound effect. Yeah, we add it into the hit sound effect, and it will play the hit sound effect instead. So yeah, it's super easy to do all of this stuff. But yeah, anyway, I think that's going to be it. Hopefully you liked the video. Again, if you guys do want me to recreate this video, let me know by hitting the like button and let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to do so. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one.